Every morning, the same ritual repeats. The alarm clock screams, the coffee brews, the commuter lines form. Millions of people moving in perfect synchronization, like gears in a vast machine, each one heading toward the same destination: the office, the shop floor, the warehouse. They believe they are free, but what they've really built is a cage, the wage cage. Inside the wage cage, every hour of your life has already been sold in advance. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, for 40 or 50 years. Your time, your energy, even your creativity. All of it traded away for the same promise: a steady paycheck. And here's the trick. The cage doesn't look dangerous. It looks safe, predictable, respectable. But the harder you work inside it, the tighter the lock becomes. That promotion, it's just a heavier workload. That raise, a bigger lifestyle cost that keeps you chained to the next paycheck. They call it progress. But in truth, it's only a longer chain. It's a cycle. Earn, spend, repeat. Work all week, wait for the weekend, only to find it disappears in a blink. Monday returns, and the wheel begins again. For some, this cycle continues until they burn out. For others, it ends with quiet resignation, a life of routines, commutes, and countdowns to retirement. Think about what gets lost here. The book never written, the trip never taken, the dream business left on the shelf. All postponed until someday. A someday that often never comes. How many moments slip through the cracks while the cage keeps you occupied? Your child growing older, your health slipping away, your spark fading under fluorescent lights. And all the while, the cage grows stronger. Mortgage, car payment, credit cards, golden handcuffs disguised as success. This is why we call it the wage cage. It is the first trap on the North Star path. The entry point into the system designed to keep you dependent. The wage cage is convincing enough to keep you quiet, comfortable enough to keep you numb, and dangerous enough to keep you from ever leaving. Most people will never escape, not because the bars are too strong, but because they never notice the bars at all. Routine becomes their reality. Comfort becomes their prison, and the illusion of security keeps them still. But true freedom has never existed inside a cage, because as long as you rent your time, you will never own your life. So how do you escape? It begins with awareness. The moment you see the cage for what it really is, the illusion starts to crumble. But awareness alone isn't enough. You need leverage. Leverage is the key that cracks the lock. It is the multiplier that frees you from trading hours for survival. Leverage takes many forms. Digital assets that continue working long after you've stopped. Knowledge that compounds instead of depreciates. Systems that separate your income from your time. Every seeker who climbs the sovereignty ladder begins here, by picking up the hammer of leverage and striking the first blow against the walls of the wage cage. At first, the cracks are small. Maybe it's your first dollar earned online. Maybe it's a system that frees up 1 extra hour a day. Maybe it's simply realizing your value is bigger than your job description. But each crack makes the cage weaker. Each strike brings more light. And eventually, the walls collapse completely. For the first time, you step outside. You breathe differently. You see the world differently. And you realize the wage cage was only the beginning. Because beyond it lies the boss cage, the illusions of freedom, the hidden costs of comfort. These are the traps waiting for every seeker who climbs. But they can all be overcome, one step at a time. The path out of the wage cage is not a sprint. It is not an overnight miracle. It is a journey of leverage, sovereignty, and vision. And once you begin, you can never see the world the same way again. If you're ready to keep climbing, start with the Free Sovereignty Manifesto. It is the lantern that lights the way out of dependence and into sovereignty. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments.